So we're going to start by gridding your drawing paper so that if you mess up, you could always turn it over and do it again. But on your photograph, I don't want to have to print multiple copies, so you better do it right on your photograph, which means on your white drawing paper, it should be 8 inches wide, which is the same width as your photograph, and it should be 11 inches tall, which is taller than your photograph. So you should have something planned for those extra 3 inches. We've talked about a word or words that go with your portrait that will fill that extra space. So I know that I want my words at the bottom of my image underneath my portrait of my person. So I'm going to begin gridding from the top, and I'm going to stop at 8 inches. So that means make sure the 0 of your ruler is lined up at the top of your paper, and mark at the 1, the 2, the 3, the 4, the 5, the 6, the 7, and the 8. You don't need to continue marking in the extra space because you don't have anything to grid there. Always, always, always use 2 marks to make a straight line. Never, ever, ever try to make a straight line with just 1 mark. So mark at the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Now you can turn your ruler and connect those marks all the way across the page. Because we are going to try to erase these lines and not leave any evidence of them in your final artwork, draw your lines lightly. Mine are kind of medium so that they can be easily seen in the video. So you can see that this same concept would apply if you wanted your words at the top. You would just put your words at the top and have your boxes on the bottom half. My artwork is going to have my portrait of my person up top and my words down bottom. So now I need to grid vertically across the paper. So I need to have my ruler somewhere near what is my top. 0 on the edge of the paper. 8 should be on the other side. Mark at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You don't have to mark 0. You don't have to mark 8. Slide your ruler down to nearest your bottom line. Mark at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Don't mark 0. Don't mark 8. Turn the ruler and connect. Again, ignore that bottom empty space or top empty space. So now I have my 64 boxes, 8 across and 8 down, on my paper to draw with. This is where everything is going to go from my photograph, but I got to do my photograph now. So this drawing paper should exactly match, at least the part that it's not extra, the width of your printout and the height of your printout. So they look pretty close to me. That just means you're not gridding the extra white paper at the top or the extra white paper at the bottom or the extra white paper on the sides. You could cut those off, but what is helpful about having those is that if you have really dark areas of your photo, like I have down here at the bottom, then that gives you space to make your marks. So to make your lines, you're doing the exact same thing as you did on your paper, which is what should make it easy for you. Put your ruler across the top, mark every inch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You don't have to mark 0, don't have to mark 8. Put your ruler at the bottom. Mark every inch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Turn your ruler, connect your marks. With these lines, you can make them kind of dark as long as you know you're doing it right, because you want them to show and you don't have to worry about erasing them later. So I'm going to go ahead and do my marks to make lines straight across. 0 at the top of my image, mark 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Slide the ruler over. Mark 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Turn that ruler. I'm going to turn my paper so that I can see that right edge of the ruler. That's more helpful for me when I'm trying to draw my straight line. So, now that I'm done gridding my photograph and my paper, you should be able to compare them and notice that my lines here are consistent and match with my lines on my photo, and that my lines sideways are consistent and match with my lines on my photo. So that means I hopefully did it right, or I did it wrong in the exact same way on both, but the odds are good I did it right. So you're going to use what you see on your photograph and copy it exactly onto your drawing paper. Pick somewhere easy to start, so not the face. Mine has an easy right side, so I can start there. I think it's best if you have your drawing paper right next to your printout so you can see things really, really closely. And then you are copying every single blob that you see over into your drawing paper. Don't necessarily shade it as you go, because we are going to go ahead and shade with colored pencil, but you need to outline each blob. And if there are changes of color within the blobs, then you need to mark that out too, because we need to know what value. However, a lot of times these marks are just like a blob. Don't worry about making every exact edge perfectly right unless you're at an area that's super important, like a face. But if your mark that you're copying has a few indents here and there and you don't get them exactly right, that is okay. At the end of the day, it's still going to look good. So this is my first square that has different values. I have a light outside shape and I have a medium inner blob. I need to outline both of those. And then moving on down, I have a black chunk there, and my medium blob continues on down. Black chunk. And so on. So now I would move on to my next row and keep going until I'm done.